Today I'm going to teach you how making an attack connect on its later active frames can give you more frame advantage or make your moves safe that were unsafe before. Attacks have startup frames, active frames, and recovery frames. So let's say I use Shadow Mewtwo's 2Y. The amount of time that it takes this attack to have a hitbox, that's the startup. So this move takes 11 frames to have a hitbox. And then the active frames are how long that hitbox stays out. I honestly don't know exactly how long the active frames stay out for that. And then it's the recovery frames, which is after the hitbox is gone, you can't hit the opponent, but you have a hurt box. You can still be hit. So the amount of time that it takes for you to block or be able to move again after your attack is done. So a good example is with Shadow Mewtwo's 5Y. This actually hits 3 different times, but if I use this move after I knock somebody down, I can do it so early that only the very last hit will connect. And it won't even say on the counter combo 3, it won't even say 2. I can make only the last hit. So you see that? So this has a very practical use if I were to use 6x. So I'm going to have the computer do 6x Miracle I 2Y, and then I'm going to have them do 6x Miracle I into 6Y. Now 2Y comes out in 11 frames and 6x Miracle I on hit is plus 12, so that should connect, but the 6Y should not connect because it's 15 frames. Plus 12, 15 frames shouldn't connect. So I'm able to block after that, but I wasn't able to block the first one. So I have to figure out a way to make the 6x hit in its very late active frames so that it gets 3 more or more extra frames of advantage so that I can combo into the 6Y. So here's a classic setup that I got from Mins like 3 years ago. So after I get hit by the 6x, block, and it combos as you see now. Basically, the reason that this works is because, like I said, every attack has startup frames, active frames, and recovery frames, and they go in that order. Let's say this attack has 5 active frames. I don't know how many it has. Let's pretend it has 5 frames where it has a hitbox. Most attacks in this game do a set amount of hit stun or block stun. So whether I hit really early in the animation or really late in the animation, the opponent is going to still be in the same reeling animation for the same amount of time. So let's say if I hit the move on the first active frame, what's going to happen is, let's say it's active frame 1. Then my move is active, the opponent starts to go into their hit stun animation, and then I have to wait for my active frame number 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then I can go into my recovery. And the opponent, the whole time, their counter is ticking up for how many frames that they're in hit stun or block stun or whatever. Now, if I hit on frame 5 of the active frame, what happens is the same amount of hit stun is applied to the opponent, but since I have 4 frames that I skipped, that I'm not going through this animation anymore because I already hit on the last active frame, frame 5, then basically I'm effectively recovering 4 frames faster than the opponent is if I would have hit on the first active frame. If any of this is confusing, I have a video in Pokkén Basics that goes over frame data, and I'll show you a couple more examples that are pretty practical as well. So here's a classic one. If you use blaze kicks, normally there's a gap in between the first and the second hit, but your opponent can do a reversal in between. They can anti-air if they have a frame 1 anti-air, they can hit you, or they can even use a counter attack. But if you space this move properly so that the first few active frames whiff and then only the very end of it connects, then it goes from the first hit into the second hit, and the opponent is still going to be in block stun without that gap, and then they won't be able to sidestep through it. So this is normally. And let me see if I can space this out a little bit. Okay, right there, that's gapless. And then they were still mashing side strike, as you can see. So the idea is basically just to hit as late in the active frames as possible. You can do this either by timing it as a meaty, like after you knock a character down, or you can space it in a way so that the first part of it whiffs. Alright, this is one of my favorites. So let's say I knock the opponent down with this. And I try to dash up and do something basic like that, right? So this is not meaty enough. The problem with that is it's not hitting in the late enough active frames. As you can see, this move is out there for a long time, so it has a lot of active frames. So we need something meatier than that. So let's go with something like this. So that works very well. There's a lot of setups that Decidueye has. That's actually one of the things I like about Decidueye the most. This move is so active. The key takeaway here is that you can make moves safer on block, more advantageous on hit, and you can even make them safer on armor by making the attack connect in its later active frames instead of early in its active frames. And the way you can do that is you can space out the move to make the first part of the active frames whiff, or you can do it when the opponent is getting up so that the first frames will whiff as they're getting up and then the last of it is going to connect.